Yes, hi. So the uh, hoax of the hoax of the season. Um, First and foremost, you're not going to die of this. Second, what are you worried about? Why do you spend your day, uh, this day in your life, worrying about dying? If you're worrying about dying, you're not living. All right, come on, stand up, walk on the water. This is water. This is a lie. This is a hoax. Now, it's very important to understand this because you were not given the spirit of cowardice and of fear. You were given the truth and grace through Jesus Christ to stand up in front of these Goliaths, these liars, and knock them down. Like mountains, they will just melt like wax in front of you because you understand, all right, how terminology works. Because you are as wise as these serpents, right? Hmm. The process of naming the disease has been called chaotic. Recall during the 9/11 hoax, where nobody died, nobody got hurt, it was controlled demolition to put up a building where it stands now, and that building is also slated to be controlled demolition at some point in the future. So take a look at this 14 right next to chaotic. Remember I told you that when you back to the 9/11 idea where you have the angel in the whirlwind, that idea of which is put out to tell you that there is within the chaos there is this grand architect which directs it, and that's the fallen idea of this place. That is the prince of the air. That is the idea of Satan, or the idea of Lucifer, the idea of Christ witnessing it falling from heaven to earth like a lightning bolt. Now, remember, draw like a schoolroom lightning bolt on a piece of paper in front of you. Just connect two sevens. The second seven, you will do a mirrored reversed opposite. Boom. You've created a lightning bolt. The idea of the idea, if you remember the children's book, witchcraft book of Harry Potter, the lightning bolt on the forehead. All right, that means that's the idea that infests your temple because you chose to serve two masters. And I'm only speaking to those that claim to be followers of Jesus Christ, and of course have been given the Christ mind. Because the rest of you, you will not understand what I'm saying to you. You'll understand it at a level that is debased, not base. All right. So for those that can hear and those that can see, all right, understand that this chaos, this is talking about the darkness. When these so-called leaders use the words like angel in the world, when they're speaking of the idea of the infinity, the eight, the devil's in the details, the snake, the serpent, the idea of every man who believes this stuff is in fact crawling on their belly eating dust because the dust is a lie of this place. And while you are eating that dust, you are a serpent. And a serpent then eats its own story. It eats its own tail. It eats its own nature. And thus you are the snake eating its tail. Thus you are infinity. You cannot stand up because you are lying down in the state of death. You die daily for a world that does not exist for real. However, the consequences of these hoaxes can be shown to you because these are just people. These people go to jobs. They say, hey, go mark, on these little trays, this, that, and the other thing. This person doesn't know any better. This person is in league, in tune with the fallen light of this world. this, everything you see, all this madness, chaos you see here, is invention of the fallen state, the fallen idea. Look at the pockets, the 6 Sharpies with the 7th in the hand. The idea of looking at what is then called the story in the petri dish, growing, then showing the hanging 4, which is the understanding of the door. That door, if flipped unto itself, 44, leads into that 8th pin on the desk, which is then writing the story, which you then, being the serpent, consume. Look at Sharpie if you didn't like that. Look at then Sharpie. Sharpie, what's the meaning of Sharpie? A dishonest or cunning person, especially a cheat. But then depending on where you search, some may say, oh, an exceedingly keen or alert person. Those are 2 different meanings right there. I see 2 different people right there. So in this picture, I see a dishonest person. She might not even know it, or he, who knows anymore, because they are being led. But they by their own free will chose death as their state of life. So I feel nothing for that puppet, that clown. So I looked and I saw a white horse, and its rider had a bow and was a bow, and was given a crown, and he rode out and overcame and conquered. All right, so now that bow and bow is very important, because you have not only the idea of the white horse that's being constantly shown to you, because the book of Revelation is being played out in this existence. That is, if you want to know what's going on, this place, the scripture of this place is the King James Bible. That is just fact. Now, that doesn't mean that you have that's the only one you read. I'm just saying, read whichever one that you are led to. I can't tell you that doesn't matter, because people would misunderstand me. I'm just saying, don't read something you can't understand. Okay? Boy. There are some touchy things, because people are so full of arrogance and ego that they constantly stand on the edge. They wake up in the morning wanting to be offended, so that they can think that they did something, and for the name of God they stood up with their sword, their word, not God's word. Because with the mind of Christ, you know what is true and what is false. When God speaks to you, you know His voice. You cannot be lied to. Anyways, this place leads into a bigger understanding of him going to a sacred mountain, the idea of that mountain having a lake called heaven. All right? But it also leads into the understanding of bowing. All right? So the idea of the bow sending the arrow into your mind, the idea of hitting you with the lightning bolt, and then going into the 8s, the idea of the devil's in the details. And you also have this bow, which means that now in the physical realm, this place where people will look at this and then take example from it. You notice the purplish color in the back, because that's just letting you know it's a mind marinade to say, oh, now I'm going to bow and not touch you because this made up nonsense. So then you simply went from simple cold and flu seasons to where people kind of understood, hey, I have a cold or flu, and I know that I'm sick. I stay home for a couple of days. Boom, everything's taken care of. Back in what would be the age of responsibility. I'm looking in the distance. Where did it go? Right? So then you have this nonsense where everything's blown out of proportion. It's all blown into chaos. And then the order is made by having different customs and cultural changes be introduced to you. And then this becomes a trend, or it becomes trendy. All right. Then the idea of the white horse or the white house, the idea of the all white, or the idea of the white power. You've seen that, right? So then this is showing you these are all just actors acting. There, you can look at them. Just look across the table of this guy's time in the three ring circus and this guy's time in the three ring circus. Look at them. I wouldn't trust these guys to run a lemonade stand. Nobody's paying attention. This guy's bored out of his mind. This one lost her glasses. She can't find them anywhere. She says, "I knew they're just. It's like I just can't remember where I put them. It's like it's just on the tip of my nose. Oh, okay. See, and then this one's. Come on. This right here, hanging the idea of the double seven, which goes back to this I told you back here. The chaotic, the idea of the 14, the double seven being the idea of flipped, mirrored, opposite, the lightning bolt on the forehead. The idea going into your temple. This hoax, these guys in these prayerful, stances. These so-called men and women, their minds are in league with the fallen light of this world. Their actions are being puppeted. They're not sitting there plotting and planning. Their actions just take them there. Their so-called heart leads them there. They actually think that they are doing good work. But you can see that that's all this is a hoax. That everything that I'm telling you is being shown out. You can see it. Now you can test this. You can look everywhere in this picture. You can see the signs, right? Even though you were told this wicked generation would receive no signs. You were told that. You know that. Yet you keep. What do you keep looking for? I mean, the signs are absolutely everywhere you look. I walked you through this. The six. The idea of the six. The third in being the green, or the color of concern. Right? The idea of the six, the cube. Right? Now what is the cube? Again, the idea of the contained story. The seven right here. This idea of this being the petri dish, this being the growing point, this being the genesis spot of the story believed in. The idea of the seven, the lightning bolts, flipped, mirrored, because you are a reflection of your belief. That is what propels you through the door into the flipped 8. Draw all this stuff. Watch the mind computer videos. Stop standing around waiting to be led into the truth because you are too lazy to understand what you have to do. You have to die to this world. You have to return to God naked. You will be given the Comforter. You will be given the mind of Christ. And you will stop being a burden on other men to lead you out of your own self-deception. And then you can maybe go walk outside and you can go stick your toe in the dirt and you can become grounded to what is true. Stop being lazy. Just stop it. See, that's why I put those videos up the last few days, because there's a lot in there in those spinning paintings. There's a lot in there, but the reason I put them is because I want people to leave. I wanted to destroy their patience, because I know that I don't want those people around me. I don't want those serpents anywhere near me. Do not turn anything I do into a den of vipers, because I will sling you out so fast your head will spin. Now, again, if you wanted to head over to my Discord and talk over there outside of YouTube, because this is a wasteland. This is nothing but a bunch of pampered, lazy, workless, that's right, workless. About the only work they do is they run their mouth in comments. They do nothing real, nothing testable, because they are in tune with themselves. They are their own God. They cannot just take a picture and describe it to you properly. They will give you a whole nother story. So, anyways, I hope that this video leads those that want to see the truth to the understanding which I gave them. All right, I already told you how that happens, and I hope that some people be offended by this and then scoot, leave, unsub, get out. I don't want to hear from you. I'm not going to waste my time with you. Is that clear? All right, cheers to the rest of you. All right, be blessed.